Foundation for Healing Conversations, or call us on 398-5013 and become a member of the Foundation for Healing Conversations. I am Dr. Madonna, and I approve this message.
Share the live. Share the live. The Street 919 FM on Facebook and Instagram. Share the live. Iowa George on Instagram. Share the live. Iowa TV and Street TV on YouTube. Share the live. The Street 919 FM.
Saddle up, ECDP. Run to the troops. Run up patrol. So right about now, Rasta, you teach I the truth. Yo, when we say love, when we say love, when we say love.
And Tobago. I am Dr. Madonna, and this is Words Matter. You are in for a treat today. How are you? Pastor Google, good morning.
Good morning, good morning, good morning. How are you?
Excellent, thank you. You had a good weekend?
Interesting weekend.
Interesting, that's a safe term.
Yeah, very interesting weekend.
We will hear more about it, I hope.
Yes.
And listeners, viewers, I let me apologize. I had promised that we would focus today on narcissistic personality disorder and the impact of the behaviors on workplace communication, relationships, and workplace outputs. But our intended guest, he had to deal with some challenges in his family, and he asked to be excused. He promised to be on next week. But God is a good God. We have a guest who is a global name or face and runs right into the middle of the dialogue that I had promised you that we would have around Africa, Africanisms, race, and so on. The dialogue with the continent. He is Reverend Ronald Nathan, and this gentleman is well lettered. Let me just share with you a bit of him. He is an author, he's a lecturer, he's a consultant, and he is known as a Pan-African preacher on YouTube. Currently, he is attached to the AME Zion Church, the Hoggard AME Zion Church in Barbados. And he has been and is a Caribbean consultant to the National Church Leaders Forum in the UK and the Caribbean convener of the Transatlantic Roundtable on Religion and Race. The accolades go, quite long. Reverend Ron Nathan, good morning, and thankfully you are in Trinidad for a few days.
Good morning, Dr. Doyle. Can you hear me clearly?
Yes, we can. And we're going to pump up the volume here. And just to let persons know that you are Trinidadian, originally from Laventille. And you have really trotted all over Africa and the globe as a Pan-African preacher. And your passion about the black church and the black presence in the Bible and Christianity pre-colonization. There are so many things that you bring to the space, and listeners and viewers will just get a sliver today. But I can promise you, viewers, listeners, that this is not going to be his first time. He's going to be a regular feature as we focus the conversation, the dialogues between the continent and the diaspora. Reverend Ron Nathan, just greet our audience.
Greetings to one and all in the beautiful Republic of Trinidad and Tobago and those beyond the shores of Trinidad and Tobago. It's indeed a privilege to be here, passing through for a few days, and Dr. Doyle has snatched me for an hour to come and share with you. I look forward very much to our conversation together. Just to say, the accolade about Laventille is very, very important to me, as my family have lived in Laventille for 135 years. And I tell people that's before there was a Laventille Road.
Wow.
So it's good to be on the program.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for the invitation.
And I want to kickstart the conversation today with a clip from our Honorable Prime Minister, Dr. Rowley, in which he justified the renaming or the expansion of the name of the Emancipation Holiday from August 1st this year. So let's hear that clip from our Honorable Prime Minister, Dr. Keith Rowley. And because this is Words Matter, it's important that his justification, and we make the link, Words Matter, right? And we look about the relationship between the continent, and really I want to focus on how this transatlantic relationship has been fractured by language, by religion, by race. And we'll see how we can discuss or give persons a teaser today. And we really want to continue the dialogue around the initiatives that are taking place, the stories that are going on that currently are seeking to heal those relationships and that have the potential to heal those the relationship between the continent of Africa and the diaspora communities in the Caribbean and in the wider world. So let's hear this clip from the Honorable Dr. Keith Rowley, Prime Minister of this beautiful republic. Dr. Rowley.
And the last thing I want to say is that the Cabinet has approved that from here on in, come August 1st, the feature public holiday would be African Liberation, African Emancipation Day. The time has come for us to make it quite clear what emancipation means and who is being emancipated and from what. I have noticed at the international level that there are other people who are attempting to climb onto the emancipation bandwagon and attempting to add appendages to it. We in Trinidad and Tobago, who led on this matter, will have none of it, and we make it quite clear that emancipation in Trinidad and Tobago is as a result of the emancipation of slaves. And there's no comparison between slavery and any other form of human indignation. We, the descendants of slaves, we have a duty to preserve our history, our legacy, and make our claim without apologies to anyone.
Reverend Nathan, wasn't that a powerful clip? What are your thoughts? And what struck me was, again, the power of name and naming the holiday African Emancipation Day. So what's in a name? We can discuss that. And then the duty of us, our duty as descendants of slaves, to preserve our history, our culture, right? And we can, expand that around religion. Your take, Reverend Nathan.
Yeah, thank you very much. Words matter. The designation African Emancipation was made quite clear by the Honorable Prime Minister, Dr. Rowley. I believe that sometimes we can take certain things for granted when they need to be stated. And so I appreciate the statement made by the Prime Minister that it would be the African Emancipation Day. There is a lot of appendages, and I'll call them political appendages in the statement, and I'm not going to focus on that. I think one of the critical issues for people of African descent over the last 500 years is who has the right to name us. Okay, we've been called many things by many people. Even the very designation African has been brought into question. Does it come from the Berber tribe of North Africa called the Afars? Or was it a Roman proconsular who had the name Africanus? But it's important that we name ourselves and explain what that name means to us, irrespective of whoever else would like to speak on the subject. The issue of name, of course, brings into the focus the matter of language or linguistics. And we know that with the enslavement of Africans to the Americans, our names were changed. We were forbidden to speak African languages, and historically, things about Africa or things with African names were ridiculed and so forth. So many persons in the Caribbean, where we are, feel that it is a negative to be associated with something that originates in Africa or something that was of African descent. We don't even name those things that Africa, we may want to say is what we do in the Caribbean, but we don't want to point to its rooting in Africa.
Yes, thank you. And many people feel it is a negative to be associated with Africa and things African. And you know what I am happy about, that did not happen in our family. From my paternal side, my grandfather insisted on giving us all African names. So our middle names would be like Kimola, Sitewayo, Nasibu, Hasdrubal, Hannibal, Candacia. So we did not grow up with the negative stereotype around Africa and things African. So, and I thank God for that. And there is, and we come back to the importance of names and language. And it may be useful to have us focus on the work that is going on in some African countries in inviting the diaspora to reclaim their names and their heritage. Could you expand on that, please?
Okay, I want to slip in here that in my family line on my maternal side, my great-grandfather studied Yoruba in Piccadilly School back in the early 20th century. So there's always been a historical link and a yearning for persons of African descent to reclaim some of that lost heritage and lost linguistic skills. So I just wanted to put that in there, and also to locate it within our own contemporary history. So students who may be listening to us, or teachers who are listening to us from Piccadilly Government Primary School, welcome online, and also you are part of this rich history of Africa. Now, having said that, the that reclamation is important to us psychologically, it's important to us spiritually, it's important to us culturally, and it is important to us political and economically. People who speak a common language trade with each other, visit each other, pray with one another, begin to discover. I was talking with a friend from the Cameroon the other day, and he was sharing a particular type of costume and celebration that takes part in the western part of the Cameroon. And when he described it, I said, but that is our jab jab. And, it is very, very interesting, the links that still exist, even with the separation of the Maafa, or the crossing of the Atlantic. So African countries have recognized within, let me say, recent history, because it's in the 50s that independence came to many of the countries that were colonized in Africa, with the exception, of course, of Liberia and Ethiopia. Many of these countries have come to realize that it is to their benefit to restore ties with their children who were stolen. And I use that term because I was 25, going on to 26, when I made my first journey to Kenya and up country in Kenya. Of course, African capitals look like New York and Singapore and Switzerland and so forth. So you have to go outside of the cities to engage some of the more traditional concepts and speak with the people. And a gentleman shared with me, he said that, and he at that time was somewhere in his early 90s, and he shared with us that many times children will go to the river to wash clothes, to bathe, playing and so forth, and would disappear. And so their term was the stolen ones. And he made that link in talking about this young man who was standing before him, who could not identify himself properly. That was me. I told him, my name is Ronald Nathan. And he said, Nathan, what's your name? And he kept pushing to try to find an African name in which he could then link to the ancestral names of the area. And of course, that didn't happen. And then he says, you are a child of the stolen ones.
Wow.
So it's important for us to have these connections, and African governments, some faster than others, are beginning to make some provision for returnees, persons who are prepared to return. Now, I need to say, because I have some colleagues further north who would challenge me on this, that at present, African nations see really two diasporas. What they call the recent diaspora, which is persons in the last 40 or 50 years who have migrated to America, Canada, European countries, the UK, and the diaspora that is linked historically to them prior to colonialism, meaning the transatlantic trade in African bodies. So there are those two, and there are some of us on this side who feel slightly offended that African countries may be doing this primarily for economic reasons. And although that is a stereotype and not true, there is some measure of substance to it. Obviously, it is a fact that if you have a large diaspora abroad, it can have a significant impact upon your trade possibilities. Okay, but not only trade. I was looking in 2022-23, Africans abroad remitted $100 billion to the continent. That is more than foreign direct investment. And it is more than the overseas development aid package.
Wow.
Okay? So why not? It would be foolish to allow that kind of opportunity to pass. However, there are others and organizations like the Antigua-Barbuda Love Mission, which we have some connections with,
yes,
that are seeking to also establish other kinds of links that allow even non-business people to be able to engage with the continent of Africa. Of course, we all live in anticipation of direct flights, because that certainly will be a major boost to travel between Africa and the Caribbean. So
yes.
Let me stop there, and then you could redirect me if you want me
Yes.
to say something.
Yes, there are two things I don't want us to slip up on, and I think I may be paraphrasing, but the essence of it is that you said people who speak the same language, do business together, pray together, and I've put on marry and establish friendship ties and so on, you know.
Yeah.
I think that is quite powerful. And I want you to, because you wear so many hats, can you help us focus on the spiritual and particularly you're an AME Zion pastor, the Christian connection between the continent and many countries in which your church has a presence and the Caribbean. And particularly, there is a notion that Christianity is a white man religion, but can you help us dispel that notion, please?
Well, I think you're talking about the series of talks we are going to have over the next few months to just
definitely.
cover that. But let me say this. Christianity in its origin was formulated in the northeastern sector of the African continent. Okay. What has happened as Christianity expanded south into Africa, all along the northern shores of Africa, down into Ethiopia and Ghana, and further across to the west, what has taken place is that in a modern era, an era of European colonial exploitation, that particular history of Christianity and the African contribution to it was superseded by the need to project Africa as pagan, the need to project Africa as backward, and having not produced any sciences, any arts, any formulations like empires and so forth of any substance. It was important for those with an agenda to project Europe in a particular light. So even when they came up against phenomenal people like St. Augustine and Oregon, instead of saying that they were from Africa, you call them Latin fathers. All right? And that disguised the, let me say, the African input into Christianity. All right? Among other things. So, having established the origin, I want to also state that there were significant parts of the Christian church that never endorsed or engaged a European colonial mindset or engaged in the attempt to colonize Jesus and make him European. All right? I'm speaking about the Egyptian Orthodox Church, the Egyptian Coptic Church, the Ethiopian Orthodox Ethiopian Coptic Church. And so those were there. And even when missionaries came across Christian symbols or evidence of Christianity being in Africa prior to their arrival, they dismissed it and in some cases destroyed it. Right. As we come a little further up, the African Methodist Episcopal and the African Methodist Episcopal Zion churches were two denominations started in the United States of America back in the late 18th century that started by African descendants, freed African slaves and others who felt it important to keep the name African to identify where they had come from and also what their particular mindset was. Just for those who are research-minded, I would just throw this out and say to our present-day Pentecostals, go back in the history of the Azusa movement and check out the Africanness of Pentecostalism and the African roots of Pentecostalism. Sometimes we feel like we just arrived and don't realize if you arrived, you had to come from somewhere. All right? And so that's important as, if you wish, a tangent or a detour for some folks. But coming back to the point, the AME and the AME Zion Church, which are both present in Trinidad and Tobago and other parts of the Caribbean, come from a group of Christians who were first worshiping together in collaboration with Caucasian Americans. And when they came up on the issue of slavery, they parted company. And that's how we have the AME and the AME Zion Church and several other black denominations in the UK. Our church has been associated with the African continent from its very inception. And so some of its first missionaries went out to Liberia, Sierra Leone, Ghana, Nigeria, and today our denomination is present in 18 African countries, and that's expanding.
And, for those of you listeners, you're just joining us. For those of you on our social media platforms, YouTube, Facebook, you're listening to Words Matter. I'm Dr. Madonna, and my guest is Reverend Ronald Nathan, a Pan-Africanist. He's known as a Pan-African preacher. He is the convener of the dialogue, that dialogue between the continent and the Caribbean. I'm very excited. He's in Trinidad for a couple of days. I'm very excited because he's kicking off the dialogue that I promised that we would need to have between the continent and the diaspora, and dialogue around race, dialogue around religion, dialogues around how we are perceived, how African people are perceived, and dialogues around prospects of entrepreneurship and future forms of collaboration between the continent and the diaspora. We started off with a clip from Dr. Rowley with the renaming of Emancipation Day to African Emancipation Day, starting from the 1st of August this year. And if you want to get involved and participate in this conversation, please call us at 342-0081 466-5391. The numbers again are 342-0081 466-5391. And to let you know again that Words Matter is powered by our nonprofit, the Foundation for Healing Conversations. And you would see it run smack into trying to heal the conversations, trying to heal the fractures caused by language and culture and religion and race, even geopolitics. Those fractures that, those factors that have caused a fracturing of the relationship between the continent and the diaspora. And so Healing Conversations is about healing relationships through a form of dialogue that we call the healing conversation. And as I shared with you last week, the scriptural basis is that encounter that Jesus had with a biracial woman in the village called Samaria. And that midday encounter he had with this biracial woman at a standpipe. Now, your Bible would say, well, but you know, we would better know a standpipe. And he had this wonderful dialogue, and I call it a multi-layered kind of conversation that started with water and ended up with the transformation of an entire community. So that is what we are about, and the work we are doing in the southern community of Mbakade is about transforming through healing conversations. And we're expanding those healing conversations to include, and this is what we're talking about today, conversations about Africa and with Africa. Reverend Ron Nathan has traveled significantly, as he said, to many countries on the continent, and his church has a presence in 18 countries, you said, Rev Nathan?
Yeah. Yes.
18 countries on the continent. So I'm very excited that we could start this dialogue about the issues and start healing conversations through Reverend Ron Nathan, start those healing conversations with our friends, our family and our brethren on the continent. And to say hi to our listeners and viewers from Cameroon and beyond. So we're going to check. Callers, good morning. Sorry to have you waiting. How are you?
Dr. Madonna, this is Truly Diamond in the building.
Long time no see, long time no hear, Truly Diamond.
I'm good. I'm locked on listening. You know, this conversation, I believe. So, to your guests, I'm sorry. Good day, sir.
Reverend, you can call him Reverend Nathan or Reverend Ross.
Yes. Hello?
Okay, Reverend. I'll say Reverend or Reverend. All right. No, what I'm saying in this program that is here now, Dr. Rowley have been making a lot of effort trying to bring Black people or African people to a sense of humanity and to let them know they are somebody that exists in this world called Earth. But every time he tries to do that, there are those and these who are trying to trample him down. And I find it's not good, especially people who look like him. You will recall when Mr. Manning talked about Arrival Day, right? And another section of people came into office. They changed it to Indian Arrival Day. And there was no set of talk like what is going on here. So the question is, we the people, we the Africans, are we not being a people who could unite as a force? Are we not going to put ourselves together as a nation and a people that we are one and stop having ourselves to be fighting against each other? So I truly endorse the decision of the Honorable Dr. Rowley, the Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago, and I hope people like him and myself and others will just continue to do what we have to do as a people, and let's embrace and do what is necessary for us to love and cherish our own people. That's the problem, Dr. Donna.
Yeah, Truly Diamond.
The problem is
Truly Diamond.
Yes, ma'am.
Let us make room for the other callers. People are calling, and I'm going to respond to you in bulk, as it were. Yeah, thanks a lot. I've noted your comment.
No problem, ma'am. I thank you for listening to me.
Thank you, Truly Diamond.
Have a good morning and blessings.
Yes. Good morning, caller. Thank you for holding. Thank you for holding.
Good morning. Blessings. Good morning. I want to know why people condemning we for calling ourselves African. Why they against that? When Mr. Pandit, when Dr. Eric Williams, the name, in arrival day, Mr. Pandit take it and make it Indian arrival day. So why we can't make ourselves African day too?
Thank you very much, caller, and it ties in with what Truly Diamond was saying, and we'll respond to it shortly. Thank you. Okay. Right. My take on this is that you keep focused. There is no organization, I don't know of any organization in which you're going to get 100% consensus. As long as they're human beings, there are going to be conflict, divergent views, and so on. But if you feel strongly enough and your purpose aligns with the core vision of the organization, in this case, with what Dr. Rowley has and the cabinet has approved, you keep focused, recognizing there will be detractors. I mean, after all, Jesus had a doubter, Jesus had a denier, and Jesus had this betrayer. So it's not uncommon. But you keep focused, right? Reverend Nathan, the two callers were talking. Oh, we have another caller. Before you respond, Rev Nathan. Good morning, caller. Thank you.
Good morning to you, Dr. Madonna.
Hi, sweetheart. Morning.
And good morning to the pastor, is it?
Reverend Nathan. Yes, Carol.
Nathan. Morning to Reverend Nathan. My dear, I have not forgotten you, but I am dealing with some plumbing issues and electrical issues, TM Tech, interfering with my appliances. But anyway, to get back to the issue at hand, I want to salute Dr. Rowley and his cabinet. And it is one where he can lift the dignity of a people. When you look at the social media, when I look across the world, the type of names and the disrespect shown to people of African descent, I want to salute him. I want to salute him again because people did not waste time in telling us that we have our slave master name. And that will stay with me forever. You have your slave master name. I have the slave, the name of my ancestors. So they were proud. So Dr. Rowley is trying to lift the dignity of African people so we can be proud of our ancestors too.
Thank you.
Finally,
there
was a gentleman coming through the airport, which affected me greatly. He didn't waste time in saying he belonged to the same grouping that they voted because of the whip. Because of the whip, they voted in a particular way. He never said because of indentureship and so on, they voted in a particular way. But he was picked about because of the whip coming through the airport. I'll never forget that statement too. You vote in a particular way. You whip and save master name. Thank you, my dear. Blessing.
Thank you, Carol. Rev Nathan, let's hear your take on the callers and their pain.
Okay, I need to identify the fact that there are a number of, let me say, issues pertaining to how we as African people organize ourselves. And so we have a number of organizations here in Trinidad and Tobago, across the Caribbean, in the Caribbean diaspora, that identifies people of African descent in different ways. So there's a variety in terms of the names that we call ourselves. Some would draw the names from African languages. Some may use an English word to describe themselves. And I suspect that what is afoot is the consequence of a kind of indoctrination that took place over generations that have us uncomfortable even with stating who we are as Africans. Okay? Because of the negative association that has been reinforced over the colonial era and even post-colonial, and some would say neo-colonial period now. There is still that negative understanding, and so we shy away from things African and our naming of Africa and may feel offended. But there is also something else. We have accommodated other people and other people's ideas for so long that we also want to defend those persons and defend those ideas or in a particular way. And therefore, to the listeners on their station, it is important for us to decide where we stand and then to take action that follows up our words. So I appreciate what Dr. Rowley has said in giving us that focus of the emancipation celebration in terms of being African. But we need to build on that. We cannot think that things are just going to fall in place because the name has changed. We have got to take action that shows we love ourselves, respect ourselves, and we have a program of engagement with our fellow Africans.
Thank you, Rev Nathan. And we have a caller. Good morning, caller. Thank you for waiting.
Yes. Good morning, Dr. Madonna and to Reverend. He just said something there, to build on what you have. And he's talking to build on not just the name change or the addition to the name, but to yourself and to focus on you. And a lot of people, and I think you mentioned it earlier, a lot of people are not focusing themselves, and you said, they repeat what they hear from others. And I think it's a cultural thing, what culture you may be existing in. And if you don't do research or listen to a program like this, you will stick just where you are. Because I've seen, I worship in the Catholic Church. And when I say modern time, I mean just yesterday. They started including dark skin saints and so on, and he mentioned St. Augustine earlier. And, a lot of things have been opening up the people's mind and letting them know that, yes, those things existed. Because a lot of things came from Africa, which went to Europe, and we don't know about it. They are now sending back certain things. And Reverend, because sometimes I read on African history, and I've seen there was a young man who was captured. He ended up being the second man to a Russian leader until they overthrew that leader. He was kicked out. But there are a lot of things that people don't value in themselves. And if you value yourself as being an African person, you know who you are and you would stick with it. And Trinidadians have been doing that. Some Trinidadians have been doing that for years. They love their color, they love their history, and they love who they are. Thank you very much.
Go ahead and respond, Rev Nathan. And I thank you, caller, for that quite inspiring observation and comment.
Yeah, thank you very much. And I mean, some of the examples that we could follow, I am staying in a particular part of the East-West corridor at the moment. And as I was checking, I realized I had left certain toiletries that I should have traveled with, and decided I needed to secure these things. And I made a deliberate action to make sure that I get these things from a person of African descent. Now, some people say you walk all that way, you pass so much other shops and all of that, but it's particular that we have to understand. If you are to build up your family, then you have to invest in your family. We cannot assume that the charity of others will bring us into development. And this is why I encourage the moves by CARICOM to strengthen ties with the African Union and the trading agreements that is going to that is taking place and will continue to build between our countries here in the Caribbean and also Africa.
And callers, this is Words Matter, and we're kicking off the dialogue between the continent of Africa and the diaspora. And it really happened by divine orchestration. Our scheduled guest is not able to join us. He will join us next week. And then I happened to meet my colleague and my friend, Reverend Ron Nathan, and he's a Pan-Africanist, and he's known as a Pan-African preacher on YouTube. And I know there are comments, and again, he spoke about it earlier on. There are people who do not wish to be associated with Africa or things African because of the negative stereotype, but because of the deliberate actions of the colonizers to ignore and destroy the African contribution to world history. So generations of people have grown up thinking that Africa never contributed to global civilization, that everything African is negative, and even now their perception that Africans, and sadly this is coming from people who have been exposed to secondary education and tertiary education. There is a misperception that African people are still swinging on trees and so on. But I want to encourage our YouTubers and persons on Facebook and so on, do your research, do your history, and let us not swim in that swamp of ignorance and negative stereotyping. We're about healing conversations and the characteristics of a healing conversation. And let me just share with you our working definition of what a healing conversation is. Healing conversations are dialogues of ideas, experiences, and feelings during which we foster truth, mutual appreciation, understanding and enrichment, minimal intentional hurt, agreement, even agreeing to disagree, and ultimately love. And I want to commend us all to add it to our toolkit of communication, healing conversations, in which we can bridge the divide. As Reverend Nathan was saying, if we share the same language, we can pray together, we can do business together, we can foster cultural ties together. So the cabinet approved decision to move forward with the name of African Emancipation Day. And as Reverend Nathan was saying, let us own it, those of us who are enlightened and who wish to live in truth and wish to foster healthy business relationships. Let us move forward in truth. And I know we would not have, it's not possible for humans to have 100% consensus. So those of you who are focused on truth and understanding and enrichment and appreciation and love, let us seize the opportunities to build on the initiatives of many African countries. We're talking about Ghana, we're talking about Cameroon and Gambia. They're reaching out to the diaspora to do business, to increase familial relationships, and to engage in missions work. Rev Nathan, do we have a caller? Yeah. Yes, I'm sorry. Let's get this caller in. Hi, morning caller. Thanks for holding.
Good morning, and thanks for taking my call. As an African descendant person, my heart yearns for my motherland. And I think it's necessary at this time that we lobby strongly to have taught in schools the history of the Middle Passage, the Arabian slave trade. I think that this is necessary, and we must not apologize for telling that story. I think that equally to the Holocaust to the Jews, and what put a fire in the bosom of the Jews is their Holocaust. What will put a fire in the bosom of our people is understanding really what went on, all the players, the middle classes and the Arab slave trade, where both Christianity and Islam have been complicit.
Well said.
In that history.
Caller.
Yes.
I'm so sorry. I have to just cut this short.
No problem.
But I value your contribution. And as we said, this is the start of the dialogue. And perhaps we can get Reverend Nathan to have his closing remarks, and then we wrap up.
I just want to know where you guys are so I can visit you. That's all I want to know.
And let me give you a number to call after the show, 398-5013 or 307-5703. Closing comments, Rev Nathan.
Yes. Thank you so much, caller, for your comments. I want to say, yes, it is important that we teach about what took place during the transatlantic slavery and even sub-Saharan slavery to Arabia and so forth. But I place that into the context of what was also taking place on the continent pre-colonial times and what is taking place even now. In other words, 400 years or 500 years is just a blip on the historical calendar of African development. And that we have to be important, because sometimes we talk about the enslavement and so forth, and it can push you into a measure of depression if you don't understand. I've just said that. Yeah.
Right. And thank you very much, Rev Nathan. I know you're going to be back. And this has been Words Matter. I'm Dr. Madonna. And see you next week, same time, same channel. Blessings.
Saddle up, ECDB. Run the truth. Right about now, Rasta, you teach I the truth. Yo, when we say love, when we say love, when we say love.
The Foundation for Healing Conversations is a Christian faith community transforming lives through healing conversations. The foundation is currently engaged in transforming the community of Embarcadero in San Fernando. We are working with young men 17 years and over, equipping them with entrepreneurial skills, agriculture, spiritual and attitudinal mindset shifts. To partner with us and experience community transformation at its finest, visit our Facebook page, the Foundation for Healing Conversations, or call us on 398-5013 and become a member of the Foundation for Healing Conversations. I am Dr. Madonna, and I approve this message.
You've got bills to pay, and so do we. Let's go pay some bills on the street 919 FM.
Tune in to the Street 919 FM every second, third, and fourth Thursday at 8 a.m. to 8:30 a.m. Welcoming you to Reset with Dr. Livette, your weekly guide to holistic health and wellness. As we dive deep into the worlds of holistic health, from ancient herbal remedies to cutting-edge holistic practices, we'll explore it all. Join Dr. Livette with over 11 years of experience as a holistic health practitioner, healer, and master herbalist as he shares invaluable insights to help you reset your mind, body, and spirit. Reset with Dr. Livette every second, third, and fourth Thursday at 8 a.m. to 8:30 a.m. only on the Street 919 FM.
Experience unbeatable deal for days at Passat Food King. Bag the best bargains with extreme savings on Coca-Cola soft drink, 2 liter, 3 bottles for $25. Island Pride soybean oil, 900 ml, 2 bottles for $20. Sunday ice cream, 2 gallons, now $95. Golden Harvest kidney beans, 3 tins, now $17.99. Oryx detergent powder, 450 grams, 4 packs, $20. Ibis flour, 2 kg, 2 packs, now $25. King's corned beef, 2 tins, $28. Snuggles paper towel XL, 220 sheets, 2 rolls for $25. Swiss pasta macaroni, 400 grams, 4 packs, now $20. Aqua pure water, 24 by 330 ml, 6 cases, now $90. Imperial margarine sticks, 2 by 113.5 grams, 4 boxes, now $20. Shop now and save big at Passat Food King. Sale ends April 21st or while stocks last.
The presence of oxygen is absolutely the absence of disease. Most chronic diseases that plague us are not happening to us, but is happening within us. We're literally eating ourselves to death, which means we're not living longer, we're dying longer. Join fitness expert Aloy Johnson, the founder of the healthiest corner on earth, located at number 92 East Drive, Chamfleur, every Wednesday from 8 a.m. to 9 a.m. live on the Street 919 FM, where he shows you that healing the body's temple is easier than anyone would have led you to believe.
Join Pastor Kelvin Heinerine and friends for The Way, The Truth, The Life Radio Ministry, a Church of God ministry, live on the Street 919 FM from 6 p.m. to 7 p.m. This and every Sunday on the Street 919 FM. Jesus said, I am the way, the truth, and the life. No man cometh to the Father except through me. John chapter 14, verse 6. For further information, contact 686-3845, 349-5178, or 342-7303.
Join the winning team with Pastor Alkaline John every Tuesday at 11:05 a.m. to 12 noon and every Wednesday night from 7:05 p.m. to 8 p.m. live on the Street 919 FM as he talks about Lviv, the power of 5 fruits, one of the most powerful antioxidant supplements on the market today. The 5 superfruits in Lviv are mangosteen, acai, pomegranate, goji, and nuni. These fruits have a positive and profound impact on human health performance and disease. Join him as he gives live testimonials of the Lviv healing powers. To get more information, you can contact Pastor Alkaline John at 516-286-7079, or you can visit his webpage at www.alkalinejohn.com. Remember, every Tuesday at 11:05 a.m. and Wednesday at 7:05 p.m. live on the Street 919 FM.
Tune in to the Street 919 FM every Friday from 9:15 a.m. to 9:45 a.m. with Kingdom Health Services, situated at number 125 to 186 Eastern Main Road in Tunapuna. For the program Health and Healing, merging the old with the new with Mr. Brent Diet. For more information, call 318-7471 or 484-0141 or 360-4100. It's all about Kingdom Health Services on the Street, 919 FM.
Broadcasting from Trinidad to the world, the Street919FM.com. News from the Street, 919FM.com. Here's what's happening.
Good afternoon, I am Chanel Webb with the news on the Street 919 FM. In the headlines, DNA test confirms Hannah's remains. Hero teens save car crash victims in Mova. A couple gunned down in Chaguanas. And internationally, North Korea fire missiles into ocean in its latest weapons launch. And now the news in detail. More than a month after human remains were found in the backyard of a family home in Valsine, DNA testing has confirmed that the bones were in fact those of 18-year-old Hannah Mathura. However, sources said detectives were told to continue working on establishing more facts surrounding Mathura's death and securing possible evidence. Earlier reports which suggested the bones were believed to be those of a man were thus ruled as false readings. The tests were done on the bone marrow and biological tissue like cartilage remaining from decomposed skeletal remains. Samples from Hannah's siblings were used to verify her family lineage. Earlier this month, the remains were taken to the Port of Spain General Hospital for X-ray analysis to determine the density and structure of the bones. The remains, one source said, were also in a tube top, a pair of underwear and red pants. According to details of the matter thus far, one of Mathura's relatives told police that she was killed and buried in the backyard in June 2017. Mathura's parents were arrested shortly after her remains were found, but later released pending further inquiries. Mathura's siblings have since sought legal representation and have cooperated with police in the inquiry. 5 teens are being hailed as heroes by their community after working together to rescue 2 men trapped inside an overturned vehicle. At around 12:45 p.m. on Sunday, Kabir Bernard, Jelani Rosso, Tishan Charles, Tariq Barrow, and Joel Frank were working and hanging out at their car wash on Crystal Drive, Lady Young Road, when they heard a loud bang and what they thought were children's screams. 15-year-old Bernard, who attends Diego Martin Secondary School, said the group rushed to the sound and found the car in the precipice. Thinking quickly, one teen ran back to the car wash for a rope, which they used to tie the car. Once the rope was tied, they tried to pull the car over to prevent it from moving and injuring its occupants further. However, realizing the efforts would not work, another teen flagged down a passing van. The driver of the van stopped and the teens tied the rope to his van. He then reversed, helping the group to secure the vehicle and pull the men out. Frank said one occupant was unconscious when they pulled him out of the wreckage and the other began to lose consciousness. The group said it took about 15 minutes for the ambulance to arrive and about 20 minutes for the police. Several videos of the young men rescuing the trapped men have since gone viral on social media, with scores of users praising the teens for their intervention and quick thinking. CCTV footage of the initial incident has also gone viral, showing the car losing control before hitting a metal guardrail and crashing into the drain. In more news, a 32-year-old man from Enterprise Chaguanas was killed on Saturday night along with his girlfriend. The victims were identified as Jeremiah Gibbons, a laborer of Land Post 56 Bede Street Enterprise, and Roxanne Hira, 40, a URP laborer of number 36 Gale Trace, Palm East. A police report stated that around 9:55 p.m., Gibbons and Hira were standing outside Gibbons' house when a gunman walked up to them and opened fire. Police recovered 10 spent 9mm shell casings, 2 projectiles, and 1 live 9mm ammunition on the scene. A motive is yet to be determined. We now head on over to Shanaka Phipps with the sports and the weather report.
Thank you, Chanel Webb. Good afternoon. I'm Janata Fix with your sports report. Good afternoon. I'm Chanaka Phipps with your sports report. And in sports, Club Sando put 6 goals apart past RSSR when preliminary matches kicked off in the First Citizens Knockout Cup over the weekend. On April 21st at the Maniramjan Stadium in Marabella, a brace by Shaquille Henry helped the Club Sando win 6-0. Henry opened the scoring for the Tier 1 team in 33rd minute before Maurice Tick got his name on the score sheet in the 44th minute. It went from bad to worse for RSSR, as Jabari Forbes found the back of the net in the first half stoppage time. The goals continued to flow in the second half as Henry scored again in the 58th minute. Jaron Pascal and Rondell Gibson rounded off the scoring for Club Sando in the easy win. In the second match of the doubleheader at the Maniramjan Stadium, San Fernando Giants with Bethel United FC 4-0 in a battle of Tier 2 teams. It was goalless at the first half before a ruthless second half performance gave Giants a crushing win. Andrea Pacheco opening the scoring in the 56th minute, and 7 minutes later, Abayomi George made it 2-0. Kurlan Khan and Jadon Paris both found the net in the final 10 minutes as Bethel was eliminated. In more sports, a 4 of the final delivery by Karishma Ramarak steered West Indies women to victory in the second one-day international against Pakistan and an unassailable 2-0 lead in the 3-match series in Karachi on April 21st. Trinidadian Ramarak came to the middle with 1 ball left, with West Indies needing 3 of the last delivery. Ramarak got a sick edge that went past wicket-keeper Najiha Alvi, and down to the third man boundary for 4 to seal a dramatic win. Earlier, West Indies got valuable contributions from Stephanie Taylor, Charmaine Campbell, and Captain Haley Matthews. Matthews, who scored a century in the first ODI, struck 44 of 63 balls opening the batting. West Indies have been counting heavily on Matthews, but other batters showed their pedigree. The third and final ODI will be played on April 23rd from 6:30 a.m. Trinidad and Tobago time. In further sports, Guyana Harpy Eagles retained their West Indies Regional 4-Day Championship title at the conclusion of the 7th and final round on April 20th, as the 3 other teams in the top 4 all failed to register wins in the last round. After coming into the final round in 3rd spot on the 8-team table, the Harpy Eagles shot to the top of the table with 103.8 points after completing a facile 8-wicket victory against Salah Place combined campuses and colleges at the University of the West Indies, St. Augustine on April 19th. Windward Islands, Volcanoes, and Barbados Pride entered the final round in 1st and 2nd spots, respectively, while Leeward Island Hurricanes, who entered the round in 4th spot, also had a shot at claiming the title. At the Oval, Cricket West Indies President Kishore Sharlo and Director of Cricket Miles Bascom were on hand to present the Harpy Eagles with their winners' medals and their $250,000 first place prize. And that's all for sports. Now let's take a look at the weather. Today until midnight, Trinidad, Tobago, and the remainder of the Lesser Antilles, dull, hazy, and breezy conditions with very low chance of brisk passing showers. There is a significant concentration of Saharan dust present over the area. Persons sensitive to this change in air quality should take the necessary precautions. Our temperature. Last night there was a minimum temperature of 25 degrees in Piarco and 25 degrees in Crown Point. Our maximum temperature is 33 degrees in Piarco and 32 in Crown Point. Our seas are slight to moderate waves of 1 meter to 1.5 in open waters, 0.1 meter to 0.5 meters in shelter areas. And that's all for sports and weather. Now back to you, Chanel.
Now internationally, North Korea on Monday fired suspected short-range ballistic missiles into the sea, the country's neighbors said, as speculation swirled that it would soon launch a banned satellite into orbit. South Korea's Joint Chiefs of Staff said the weapons launched from the North's capital region flew about 300 kilometers before crashing into the waters between the Korean peninsula and Japan. The ranges suggest the weapons could likely target sites in South Korea. The Joint Chief of Staff strongly condemned the launches, saying they were clear provocation that threatens peace on the Korean peninsula. It said it will maintain readiness to overwhelmingly respond to North Korean provocations in step with its military alliance with the United States. Japan's Chief Cabinet Secretary Yoshiyama Hayashi told reporters that North Korea launched at least one ballistic missile that flew 250 kilometers at a maximum altitude of about 50 kilometers. He said that North Korea's repeated missile tests and other provocative actions threaten the peace and safety of Japan, the region, and the international community. In response to North Korea's evolving nuclear threats, the United States and South Korea have been strengthening their bilateral military drills and trilateral exercises with Japan. On Monday, the chairman of South Korea's Joint Chief of Staff, Kim Myung-soo, met U.S. Space Commander Stephen N. waiting for discussions on countering North Korean threats, according to South Korea's military. Recapping the headlines, DNA test confirmed Hannah's remains. Hero teens save car crash victims in Mova. A couple gunned down in Chaguanas. And internationally, North Korea fires missiles into the ocean in its latest weapons launch. Good afternoon, I am Chanel Webb.
And I'm Chanaka Phipps.
And that was the news on the Street 919 FM. Do enjoy the rest of your day.
News from the street. News from the street. 919fm.com.
Don't you touch that dial. You're locked onto the street. 919 FM.
Redemption, the concert, infiltrates the Queen's Park Savannah in Port of Spain on June 1st with positive vibes and love. Get your limited 350 general, 850 VIP, drinks inclusive, and 1250 VVIP premium drinks inclusive tickets now. Sizzla Kalonji is on his way to TNT, together with some of reggae's biggest influencers, the iconic reggae powerhouse Steel Pulse, Collie Buds, and one of reggae's sweetest voices, Christopher Martin, and the original Wild Apache Super Cat. No other concert experience can compare to Redemption. We move forward, bringing the light. Tickets are available at islandetickets.com. Extra Foods Grand Bazaar, Arima and Sangre Grande, Cuties in Piaco and Heartland Plaza Chaguanas, Java Nation, Port of Spain, and Food Hall Piaco Plaza, Pabos Arapita Avenue in Excess, Arima and Port of Spain, 10 for Men, City Center, San Fernando, and a Johnny Q Superstore, Lowlands Mall, Tobago. Redemption is the concert everyone anticipates. June 1st, see you at the concert capital again. Brought to you by Choppers Entertainment and solidified by Johnny Q Limited and Java Nation. Follow Redemption the concert on Facebook and Instagram for more information, or call our hotline numbers at 780-SHOW or 499-SHOW. Stay in the light. The biggest customer appreciation sale is on at Furniture Plaza. Come and enjoy massive savings all month long. Get up to 35% off appliances, up to 30% off youth bedroom, up to 25% off home office furniture, up to 20% off dining furniture, and up to 10% off smart TVs and more. Plus, shopper combo deals galore. No cash, just pay $1 down on higher purchase plans. All stores open Monday to Saturday, and all stores except Henry Street is open this Sunday from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. Check press and social media for more details. The Street 919 FM mobile app is coming soon. This is your ticket to never missing a moment of the action. Available on both iOS and Android devices. Never miss a beat again on the street. From your favorite health programs to religious programs, or the freshest tunes to the most engaging shows, the Street 919 FM app has it all. Look for us on your favorite app store with the keywords The Street 919 FM. Tune in to not only listen but watch your favorite shows or dive into our on-demand library to listen at your own pace. With exclusive content, behind-the-scenes access, the fun never stops. Access all of our platforms at the click of a button. It's easy, it's convenient, and is the ultimate way to stay connected to the street. Don't miss out. Get the app today. Looking for a pleasurable experience? Then look no further. The Sea Champion is available for rent. Sailing from Kings Wharf, San Fernando for a 4-hour cruise. Sailing times are 10 a.m. to 2 p.m., 2 p.m. to 6 p.m., 3 p.m. to 7 p.m., 8 p.m. to 12 a.m., and 12 a.m. to 4 a.m. 1 hour boarding and 3 hour sailing. This includes a house DJ for boarding, cleaning crew, security, and a well-stocked bar. For more information on bookings and packages available, contact 399-5959, 324-4227, or 281-4723. Call us anytime for booking.
We are The Street, the only radio station bringing balance to the nation. 91.9 FM.
Next, Constructive Talk with Pastor Google.
Today the world must say thanks to science. Man keeps on inventing day to day. And with each one man supposed to advance. But not if we train is harder say. Computer, the cellular, sure make life easier, yes indeed. Though we pay big cash, some we treat like trash. Here's some inventions trainees don't need. The inventors of scanners waste time. It's best see the drink or go and lime. Cause down on the port, where smuggling is fought, guns passing in rap to jack up crime. It's not that they slack or custom soft, but behind their backs I'm turn it off. So despite reports and the best intentions, scanners on the port are useless. For all the money spent, they're useless. More dollars than cents, still useless. Whether own or rent, that's a useless invention. And some of the things genius inventing is to keep police abuse at bay. Cause when men get shot and people venting, oh they're wicked. The man wasn't armed is what they say. But despite the noise, Roger and his boys tell us they go way beyond the tape. But then like Rich Plain, they'll get catch again. See why they don't want the truth escape. So the man who invented useless invention. To the bridge, all them police speed gone. That useless. Traffic lights we run. So useless. Fertilizer test. That useless. How much get arrest? So useless. The forensic lab. That useless. Where the shot us tab. So useless. Water pumps in flood. That useless. Just blame an act of God, oh Lord. So useless. In Trini we all pay car insurance. Whether private use or taxi load. But now you need patience and endurance to drive and survive on Trini Road. Cause it's greater, deep, deep water. Instead of a car, we need a boat. I tell you, my friend, all my axle bend. It's best they invent a car that floats. Look who invents suspension and shocks. He should have done tools and leave the walk. Cause anyway you roll, you must dodge pothole. It's best that it buy a monster truck. License office one car's roadworthy, but them roads and car worthy to we. I wish you good luck and the best intentions. Suspensions and shocks are useless for all the money spent. They're useless. More dollars than cents. Still useless. The way my axle bent, that's a useless invention. All them electronic monitor bracelets, that's useless. Ask Anthony Michael Smith, so useless. First human trafficker we convict, that's useless. Now free at large like he gets acquit, so useless. All them new ID and TP cards, that's useless. Benny's habits ain't born in Trinidad, so useless. All them guns built with safety catch, that's useless. Man cleaning rifle and shooting batch, so useless. That's useless. So useless.
Hello, Charlie. I want it now.
A jiggy calypso. King Charles.
Trinidad and Tobago.
And do as they may.
As they may.
Causing you sorrow along the way.
All who feel they take and get away.
Is the children going to pay? Oh, what a thing, Chelsea, to be King Chelsea. I'm sure you got to rejoice and sing.
Oh, yeah.
Now that you done celebrate, there's something that cannot wait. Give me what you have for me. Give me what you have. Your dear mother passing left many in tears, but her passing also left you in a rest. Chelsea, give me what you have for me. Give me what you have for me. Give me what you have for me. Give me what you have. Because you must make cowboys in the old land. Split up India and Pakistan. Steal the people of Amrestafi. Lives you take and you take. Chelsea, the people in India calling. Chelsea, you must make it right somehow. Chelsea, for reparations they calling. Chelsea, give them something new. Well, the people, we want to be wanted, we wanted. We want to be wanted, we wanted. We want to be wanted, we wanted. No, no, no. Well, the people, we want to be wanted, we wanted. We want to be wanted, we wanted. We want to be wanted, we wanted. No, no, no. Oh, what a thing, Chelsea, to be King Chelsea. The whole world contribute to your playing. Now you want your golden coach, I must submit my reproach. Give me what you have for me. Give me what you have. You turn humans into products of your trade. After slavery is the slave masters you paid. Sort out yourself. Give me what you have for me. Give me what you have for me. Give me what you have for me. Give me what you have. Because you take where we culture for speed we hit. Make we slave all day on estates. Take resource I drain we pitch lake. You take and you take. Chelsea, half of the
expressed are not necessarily the views of the management of the Street 919 FM.
Good afternoon, Trinidad and Tobago. Good afternoon to those of you always locked onto the Street 919 FM. If you're a first-time listener, well, welcome. And those of you who are, always on the street, thanks for staying on the street. Remember, you could join me on Facebook. You could join me on YouTube. All right, our Facebook and YouTube links are out. And we are on right now. You can tell us where you're joining me from. So as you come on and see, we already have persons on YouTube joining us. As you come on to YouTube and Facebook, just type in, what part of the world are you listening to me from? What part of Trinidad are you listening to me from? What part of Tobago are you listening to me from? What part, where are you connected to? How are we connected today? I appreciate all of you, my silent listeners. Very always happy and very happy to have you with me. I had a very interesting weekend. I would have attended the Baptist Got Talent on Saturday. Was it? It was really good. Really interesting. There were things that was done. Some performances were really outstanding. We had somebody playing the harmonica, boy. A really nice, outstanding performance by a lady who would have sang a song from gospel, I believe. It was written by her brother, and then I got to understand that her brother listens to 91.9 Constructive Talk every day. Constructive Talk every day he listens. So let me say thank you to him. And I would like to get a copy of that song. Yes, and we had some babies. We had an 8-year-old who would have sang really nice. And a 12-year-old, So the talent in the Baptist churches is very good, in good hands. And I must say congratulations to all of them, even the young ladies who would have danced from Mova. Very nice, really nice to be there, being a part of that whole expression. All right, let me say good morning to people joining me all the way in the USA, Texas. Somebody is joining me from where is that? All right, so we're getting people coming in. Grenada, Saparia. Somebody is joining me from Tobago, Sweet Island of Tobago. All right, and so as you come on, just type where you're looking at me from. As you join the live, just type in where are you looking at me from, and I'll appreciate that a whole lot. All right, I'll appreciate it a whole lot. And those of you on Facebook, when you come on the live, we will appreciate it a whole lot if you just share the live and tell somebody that Constructive Talk is on the Street 919 FM. Remember, there was a time just sometime last week or week before, I sat down here and I said to you that I would have liked to get in contact with Mr. Andy Johnson, and I did get in contact with him. I did get in contact with Mr. Andy Johnson, and I am trying my best to get him to come into the studio. Trying my best to get him to give me a little bit of his time, So much things happening in Trinidad and Tobago. So much. So I'm seeing where there's a pre-action protocol letter on Martha and Tobago is from Freedom Chamber, from Freedom Law Chamber, sent a pre-action protocol letter to the Northwest Regional Health Authority. A mother from Tobago is doing that. What again is there? PAHO team arrive in TNT. A team from Pan American Health Organization arrive in Trinidad today. What again is in the news? All right. I'm also seeing where the UNC will Dragon Gas deal. They want to know if the Dragon Gas deal, how it's going to be affected, and I will leave that for a minute. All right, the Northwest Regional Health Authorities accused of tampering with records. All right, so that's another interesting discussion that's happening because Freedom Law Chamber, the attorneys are responding by saying that the documents that they got from the hospital was tampered with. I'm going to await the further developments of that whole situation. Right? So they're saying that there's a tampering of records. Interesting. And the funeral service for the 4-year-old was at Faith Assembly. All right. What again? The UNC refuses to support. What it is? Where is it? All right. A bill brought by the government. All right. To a bill brought by the government. All right. To change the process for appointing what you call them. I want to get into this a little bit. And those of you who are not on the live, I need you to get on the live. So the government would have brought a bill for acting COP vote, and the UNC did not vote for it. Let's listen to this a little bit. I want to hear this. I want you all to listen to this. When we're talking about crime, we're talking about fixing crime, solving crime. And when we sit here, sometimes we tell you all that the opposition is opposing everything. You know, some people make it look as though they're opposing what? There's nothing, they're not opposing anything, they're doing their job. They're just being opposition. Okay, well, let's listen to how they're just doing their job. I want you all to listen to this. All right? Come on the live, come on the Street 919 FM, Facebook page, YouTube page, and take a listen to this.
The support of the United National Congress. It would be a madman.
We are here with an amendment which the member admits that he will not get the support of the loyal opposition, but he brought it anyway. They brought it anyway.
The clear lines were drawn in the House of Representatives on Friday, as reflected by National Security Minister Fitzgerald Hines on behalf of the government and Urupuch East MP Dr. Rudal Munilal on behalf of the opposition, on a bill meant to amend Section 123 of the Constitution to change the process for the appointments of an acting police commissioner and acting deputy police commissioners. The bill required the support of the opposition.
We don't anticipate it. We have a duty to the people of Trinidad and Tobago to make available to them the best solutions, the best ideas, the best thoughts, and the best legislation.
Attorney General Reginald Lamour piloted the proposed amendments to the Constitution.
The process for submitting names to the President subject to parliamentary approval for acting
acting appointments has proved to be administratively burdensome and time-consuming. We may well find ourselves in the situation where the time required for compliance with the constitutional provisions to make acting appointments may far exceed the period of the absence of the substantive office holder.
The Attorney General said that period of absence includes illness, vacation, or business trip, and that the government is proposing such acting appointments be made by the Police Service Commission. Barataria San Juan MP Saddam Hussein, an attorney at law, spoke about how the late Patrick Manning, when he led the PNM, and the late Basdio Pandey, when he led the UNC, dealt with a past amendment of the Constitution by the Parliament.
That particular amendment, with respect to the 2006 format or formula for the appointment of a Commissioner of Police, was done through extensive bipartisan consultation. And today, we are treated with scant disrespect when this government comes here today, throws this bill in our face and say, we require you to support this.
MP Hussein recalled the High Court's ruling that acting appointments for the top posts in the police service must be approved by Parliament, as he made references to the government's recently formed committee examining the reform of the Constitution.
What we are doing here is part of constitutional reform. Why not wait for that committee to report? And that shows the regard and the disrespect they have for a committee that they themselves appointed. Wait for your own committee to tell you what procedure you want reformed with respect to the Police Service Commission.
Later, during the committee stage, the Attorney General highlighted a proposed new amendment.
If the amendment were considered in the whole, it would read 5A, the Police Service Commission shall appoint persons to act for a period not exceeding 21 days in the office of Commissioner or Deputy Commissioner of Police in accordance with the criteria and procedure prescribed by order of the President, subject to negative resolution of Parliament.
As expected, all of the government MPs present voted in support of the bill. All of the opposition MPs voted against it, including Dinesh Rambali, who has recently voiced concerns about the party to which he belongs. Speaker of the House, Bridget Anisette George, announced the final tally.
Honorable members, with a division of 21 members voting for, 18 members voting against, and no abstentions, the bill is not approved.
That announcement was met with the approval of the members of the opposition, as their vote against the bill means that acting appointments for Commissioner and Deputy Commissioners of Police must continue to be approved by Parliament. Jule Brown, TV6 News.
See, you all heard that, right? See, the bill was not approved. Do you all hear what the bill was about? You all understand what the bill was about, right? I don't know how many of you understood what the bill was about. But I'll give you a little idea of what the bill is about. In the sense of, they were asking the opposition to support them in the constitutional reform of the long drawn-out process of putting an acting COP. They're saying that, yeah, what? Let's try and, shorten the process and be able to deal with it in a faster way. Because we know of the bureaucracy, we know of the long drawn-out issues that goes with putting things in place in this country. Hello, good afternoon, caller.
Good afternoon, Pastor Google.
Hi.
How was your weekend?
It was good.
Pastor Google, you know why? Because when it's time to vote, some of us, you be the fan, don't go out and vote. But when the opposition gets 29 seats, they could have done everything they wanted. Everything. Because they had 29 seats. But this government has 221. You want to bring everything. Like you were so perfect. You were so perfect to everything with Dr. Rowley. Do everything you're perfect. But why you're so perfect? Why they going to Canada? Why they going to Canada? Pastor Google, have a blessed evening. Bye-bye.
Okay. So, So the opposition did not support the bill. Right? The opposition did not support the bill. But you know what's interesting? And Jules Brown would have highlighted it at the end of, coming to the end of his report. Ramboli and all the others who have been been very vocal in some of the things about the UNC, he voted against though. Huh? I wonder if you all heard that.
He's voted against it, including Dinesh Rambali, who has recently voiced concerns about the party to which he belongs. Speaker of the House...
Procedure prescribed by order of the President, subject to negative resolution of Parliament.
As expected, all of the government MPs present voted in support of the bill. All of the opposition MPs voted against it, including Dinesh Rambali, who has recently voiced concerns about the party to which he belongs.
Very interesting, eh? Very interesting. And I am saying that to see that at the end of the day, Trinidad and Tobago, when they have to pull ranks or make sure and be together, they are together in certain things, eh? Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Pastor Good.
Good afternoon.
Now, do you expect anything different from Mr. Rambali? He's still trying to see if push come to shove and others select that if Kamala remained there, that he's still in good favor, you know. This bill is if the commissioner gets sick in the morning, God forbid, and we have to appoint an acting person. All these people who we just appoint just recently, the lady would have said bong down the person and become acting judge. You remember there was a lady just went up just recently, right?
Yeah.
There was a gentleman went up before where the Prime Minister denied or the government denied and Munilan let he go mad because he thought that they would have picked that fella based on all these CVs saying now looking for a JOB. Right? He wasn't selected. The lady was selected. If the President Commissioner of Police gets sick in the morning and say, well, I had to stay home, that means that lady and whoever after her has to go back that whole procedure again to sit down before these clowns, how they describe their CV and put whoever against the lady, where the member of Tobago had to jump up to defend the lady as well, you know. So they decided not supporting that. So, because why? They don't know how long a commissioner, how long that person could stay as acting. Remember they had a man acting and one money like what did they tell me if he stay acting? That they get better performance if he stay acting? Them fellas and them something wrong with these. Pastor Google enjoy it.
All right, continue to take your calls. Tell me, what are your thoughts about what you just heard in the news? Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Pastor.
Hi, good afternoon.
Pastor, I don't think anybody should be so surprised. That is what they are accustomed to, yes? So it's nothing strange. Bye.
Bye. All right, some people saying that they're not surprised. It's nothing strange. It's something that, you know, they expect. But what are your thoughts about it? You know, Mr. Barataya just shared with us, you know, how he see it. So the commissioner, God forbid, gets sick in the morning and you need somebody to act in her place. They actually, the UNC has actually said, no, we're not going to allow you to put anybody to act. Are we serious? Hello, good afternoon. Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Pastor Google. Hello?
Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Pastor.
Good afternoon.
Pastor Google, the last Thursday, I see any big meeting, but I see a poor piano active. Because I asked a question about your formula, man. I was free to talk to the Prime Minister.
The question is, are you in support of the opposition and the stance that they took where we cannot have an acting COP if this COP gets sick?
Well, I stand with the opposition anyway, you know.
Nice, you stand with your party despite what they do, you are in full support. Despite don't care what they do, you're just in support.
I support them.
All right. Okay. So even though you support them, even if it's something that is in the best interest of the country and they go against it, just because you support them means that you encourage it.
That's the best interest for the country. If
the commissioner know that we have gets sick, God forbid something happens to her, they are saying that the length of time that it takes to put a new commissioner or an acting commissioner in place, it takes a very long time. So they were asking the opposition for support in putting measures in place to make it simple or faster, effective. You are saying that
Yes. Is your partner not abstain? The pundit?
No, he didn't abstain. He did not abstain. He voted for. He voted against the government. He didn't abstain. Hello, good afternoon.
Hi, good afternoon, Pastor Google.
Hi, good afternoon.
Pastor Google, a prime minister is in charge of the country. We can have all types of people acting as prime minister. A police service will have people under them knowing exactly what the commissioner of police is doing, carrying out the duty of security for the country. And they cannot act at a temporary time, but you can have a person acting as a prime minister, making decisions for a country. And these people and the police service commission must consult maybe the, I don't know their connection, how they do it, their function in terms of the security minister and stuff, right? But the prime minister, a very important person in the country, can just pick somebody out of a hat and say, you are. And commissioner of police who know their duty, the acting commissioner of police know their duty, and they cannot perform their duty while their boss is away for a short time. And can still consult, even if you say can still consult on certain matters to get advice. Something has to be strange or wrong with the opposition people. Good afternoon. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Good afternoon. Hello? Okay, you're not there. All right. So, again, it's interesting, very interesting how this is playing out. And you just heard one of the UNC supporters saying that he's supporting the opposition despite what? Hello, good afternoon.
Blessed day to you, Pastor Google.
Good afternoon, sir.
It's obvious. As the opposition leader say, she will make this country ungovernable. Know your wealth bill among others. They don't want no parties abstain and walk out of the parliament and drawing taxpayers' money under false pretense. That ain't easy to take, Pastor Google. These people have no regard for country, not even the self it look like. You have a godly day, King. Nocturne as usual.
Thank you very much.
Afraid jail.
Afraid jail.
Yes.
They love money bad. I hear you, sir. All right.
Tax money, one man, one bomb. We don't call the island, the country outside there, with over $400 million. Water treatment plant, one big hole, and he gone with taxpayer money in Panama. You think it's easy with these people? We have to tolerate that time longer than trying. The wheel of justice turning very slow. You have a godly day, King.
Thank you very much. All right, so we're going for a break. We're going to come back. When I come back from the break, I'm going to play you something that I don't know how the opposition, I don't know how they think, but however they think they really fool people. They really do try to fool people. And after I listened to that call a while ago, and I am convinced that there are some people who, no matter what information comes to them, because they just oppose, they're just going to stay in opposing mode. That's the reality of it. So, Mr. Good afternoon to 414 on YouTube already, jumping on, and I have 446 and counting on Facebook. Remember, when you come onto the live, you share it and you tell somebody to tell somebody constructive talk is on. Good for a break.
Sipping up the youth juice. Everybody drinking up the youth juice. Everybody buying up the youth juice. When you drink, you get a natural boost. Zero sugar, calories low. Same great taste and it's sweet for so. Boost up the energy when you want to go. 100% natural, what we know. In a new bottle with a new design. In the evolution, we are move with the times. Give me turmeric, ginger and lime. That's why they feeling fine. So they say everybody sipping up the youth juice. Renew the power in you.
All right. I'm back with you. And remember, you can share the live. You can come onto the live. You can tell your friends and family, loved ones to join me on the street 919 FM. And just before I switch gears, again, I am really concerned about, how people just allow themselves to be drawn in, just drawn in, boy, and not think for themselves. And you could have so much hate and bitterness and resentment for whatever reason. But I think making a conscious decision to stand up for what is right, then some people just don't want to. Hello, good afternoon.
Hi, good afternoon, Pastor Google.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, the callers. This is a 91.9 constructive talk. Pastor Google, you shouldn't be surprised, Some person of Indian descent especially, because I can't talk about the whole ethnic community as one, because everybody is not the same. However, when you look at the politics of it, there's nothing strange. Ramboli and they, as they're fighting against Kamala, is their internal thing. It's about they trying to get in office now and all that. In fact, in leadership of the UNC, the party itself, when it comes to the national politics, all of them going on hold one head, don't get tough with that, That fight them fighting amongst each other in the UNC is about the party politics. You see, when it comes to the national politics, they're going to hold one head.
Yeah,
even if they become the head of the UNC, they're still coming to oppose the People's National Movement and anything they do.
And what you're saying there is very true. Today I saw a video with Annie Roberts and Gary Griffith.
Gary Griffith, that's what I'm saying. Them internal thing is nothing. It's nothing to them.
And then I saw an article where the UNC is having talks with NTA and PEP.
And it's about, when it comes to the national, and that's what we need to understand. Sun Tzu said, and that's a Chinese philosopher, military general and everything, right? He booked The Art of War. When I say the word enemy, I mean in terms of anybody or anything opposed to you. So if you're a diabetic, sugar becomes your enemy. Salt, if you're hypertension, salt becomes your enemy. So I'm speaking in that perspective. If you are diabetic and you understand your enemy, which is sugar, you understand yourself because you love the chocolate and all them things, and you make corrective measures with the chocolate and with the sugar, then you will win your battle in treating with diabetes. So I'm saying this in that context. When you understand your enemy, political enemy, that is the UNC and how some of them think, and you as a person understand yourself and how you think, you'll win all your battles. And the problem is, we don't understand, or some of us don't understand the UNC. So we'll always fall for the doing. All our fighters can and for and all that, that ain't nothing, But when you look at the national politics, is that we have to watch. They're coming together again, the same NTA, who they fall out with just recently, and Philip Alexander, and all them coming back together because about getting in the national politics. Them in business. And just fine, as I go, I still don't want to believe that is what was said. The evening program, Mr. Amaro has been interviewed, and I really don't want to believe that that is what he said. So I want to know if anybody else heard it. Did Mr. Robert Amaro say that in the African DNA, DNA is to spend, we don't save, but the Indian people, them just spend and save, and we have two people of African descent around there and giggle. Do you understand what is DNA? That means it's a genetic in us. So is Mr. Amaru saying, if he said it, that all African people, we can't save without just spend?
Well,
I just want to know.
Well, if you're not sure, then, I don't want to.
No, that's what I'm asking.
Yeah,
so
then,
if anybody heard, so it's a question,
right.
I'm free to ask a question.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
The views expressed are not necessarily the views of the management of the Street 919 FM.
You've got bills to pay, and so do we. Let's go pay some bills on the Street 919 FM.
Are you just tired of bad news in your communities, TV screens, and newspapers? Well, I have good news for you. Introducing Positive Corner with Naka every Tuesday from 12:30 p.m. to 1 p.m. Highlighting young, vibrant, and future stars spreading our nation's banner across the world. Telling their story about their journey to success and overcoming the negativities that plagues our land. Come, let's sit, discuss, have a few laughs, but at the same time learn something new. Every Tuesday, 12:30 p.m. to 1 p.m. Positive Corner, where challenges are opportunities for growth.
Jazz and wine, or is it beyond jazz and wine? Sunday, May 5th, 4 p.m. Center stage, the queen amongst the kings, powerhouse vocalist Mauricia Kagan, saxophone specialist Malcolm Boyce, versatile and captivating Siggy Rankin, pianist extraordinaire Dane Gulston with his band live Sweet Bread, and the chosen one, Ja Melody, will get you off your seats. This event is definitely beyond jazz and wine. Experience this musical journey at the enchanting outdoor garden theater at Queen's Hall. Transform into an oasis fit for kings and queens. Sunday, May 5th, 4 p.m. Limited early bird tickets available at Java Nation, Queens Park East, and online at islandetickets.com or call 737-2373. Jazz and wine. Experience the sweetness over and over again.
Have become one, we're doing it all for you. We're here to build a nation, that's what we're made to do. For mortgages, investments, and financing too. Welcome the new, brand new TTMB. Yes, we'll see you through. We're here to make you reach higher. We're here to be your new leader. Two giants have come together to work for you under one roof. TTMB, yes, we're meant for everything, mortgages and investments. Leaders have come together to work for you under one roof. One roof.
The Trinidad and Tobago Mortgage Finance Company and Home Mortgage Bank have joined forces. Introducing TTMB, the Trinidad and Tobago Mortgage Bank. Own your future.
Experience unbeatable deal for days at Passat the Food King. Bag the best bargains with extreme savings on Coca-Cola soft drink, 2 liter, 3 bottles for $25. Island Pride soya bean oil, 900 ml, 2 bottles for $20. Sunday ice cream, 2 gallons, now $95. Golden Harvest kidney beans, 3 tins, now $17.99. Oryx detergent powder, 450 grams, 4 packs, $20. Ibis flour, 2 kg, 2 packs, now $25. King's corned beef, 2 tins, $28. Snuggles paper towel XL, 220 sheets, 2 rolls for $25. Swiss pasta macaroni, 400 grams, 4 packs, now $20. Aqua pure water, 24 by 330 ml, 6 cases, now $90. Imperial margarine sticks, 2 by 113.5 grams, 4 boxes, now $20. Shop now and save big at Passat the Food King. Sale ends April 21st or while stocks last.
You've been waiting for this. Redemption.
I've been here all day of my life.
The way forward. The elevation of consciousness. Solid as a rock. June 1st, 2024. Concert Capital. Queen's Park, Savannah, Trinidad. Redemption. We present Sizzla Kalonji. Sizzla. global reggae powerhouse, Steel Pulse. Christopher Martin.
Don't let me cheat on my girl.
Collie Buds.
I just wanna smoke, drink, I love my girl to some reggae.
And the Don Dada himself, Supercat. On June 1st, light overthrows darkness. Redemption. Get your limited 350 General, 850 VIP, and 1250 VVIP tickets now. Follow Redemption, the concert, on Facebook and Instagram for all info. Redemption.
This is Natural Health Solution, where we offer a range of holistic services. Our HemaView, which is a deep dive into blood detection, both live and dry assessment. For bioresonance full body assessment or full body lymphatic detoxification. Our physical therapies include back, neck, and shoulder massage, sciatic nerve compression, and more. Our new beauty line includes both facial, mole and tag removal, and much more. Join us every Tuesday at 8:05 to 8:35 right here on the street 91.9. Call our numbers is 222-2189. That number again is 222-2189.
Join the winning team with Pastor Alkaline John every Tuesday at 11:05 a.m. to 12 noon and every Wednesday night from 7:05 p.m. to 8 p.m. live on the street 919 FM as he talks about Lviv, the power of 5 fruits, one of the most powerful antioxidant supplements on the market today. The 5 superfruits in Lviv are mangosteen, acai, pomegranate, goji, and nuni. These fruits have a positive and profound impact on human health performance and disease. Join him as he gives live testimonials of the Lviv healing powers. To get more information, you can contact Pastor Alkaline John at 516-286-7079 or you can visit his webpage at www.alkalinejohn.com. Remember, every Tuesday at 11:05 a.m. and Wednesday at 7:05 p.m. live on the street 919 FM.
If you want greater respect from your bankers, bosses, those in authority, then words matter. If you want more productive business relationships with co-workers, customers, or clients, then join Dr. Madonna on the street, 919 FM, every Monday, 11 a.m. to 12 noon. For words matter. Communication for joyful workplaces. Dr. Madonna will help you unlock the secret power of words for your financial, relationship, and physical well-being. Whether you work at home, on the road, or in an organization, join Dr. Madonna every Monday, 11 a.m. to 12 noon. For words matter. Communication for joyful workplaces.
Yo, this is a Big Mike, not the mass man, the health man. And joining me
will be Little Mike as we discuss tips on taking you from zero health to optimum health using different protocols and techniques. Trinidad and Tobago. Join us every Wednesday from 10:05 a.m. to 10:35 a.m. on the street 91.9 FM for
Health Talk with Big Mike. It's not where it is, it's here it is. Boom!
Turn your lights down low and listen to the Master's Radio. Get in touch with God. Turn your radio on.
You are invited to join Pastor Morris Johnson of the Church of the Firstborn Assembly Miracle Center, located at number 399 Eastern Main Road, Waiko, in Sangre Grande, for the Old Time Gospel Hour Family Radio Ministry, every Sunday from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. On Mondays, 9 a.m. to 10 a.m., Trauma and Bereavement. Also, every Tuesday from 9 a.m. to 10 a.m., The Low and You. Wednesdays from 9 a.m. to 10 a.m., Dealing with Disabilities. And every Friday evening from 9 p.m. to 5 a.m., the all-night prayer live on the street 919 FM, designed with you in mind. This program deals with the day's issues from a biblical perspective, and you'll also be given the opportunity to call in and interact with us. Micah 6:8 says, He had showed you, O man, what is good, and what doth the Lord require of you, but to do justly, and to love mercy, and to walk humbly with your God. Your financial support through the First Citizens Bank will be greatly appreciated. Account number 795-222. For further information, call 753-1113 or 610-4673.
Share the live. Share the live. The Street 919 FM on Facebook and Instagram. Share the live. Iowa George on Instagram. Share the live. Iowa TV and Street TV on YouTube. Share the live. The Street 919 FM.
All right, so I'm back at you, Trinidad and Tobago, and you know, the caller a while ago, and everybody know who the caller a while ago is. Sister Jenny called and talked about something there, and you know, if what Sister Jenny is saying is true, I don't even know what to say, you know. The majority of people who listen to this radio station, majority of you are of African descent. The majority. There's no if or maybe. The demographics and the persons who listen to this station are not asking you, I'm telling you, the majority of you are African, are of African descent. And the very fact that, and I just saying, and again, you heard what I asked her. You know me, I like evidence. I like to hear for myself. I like to hear and see for myself. And if that is what being said, I am saddened that we accept things like that. Well, I can't say, well, Sister Jenny is talking out against it. If it is, and as I said to her, I like evidence. You know what I mean? And good afternoon, caller.
Good afternoon.
Hi, good afternoon.
I'm a dog. I'm a working dog. I'm a hard working dog. Yes, that is true. So a man used a video yesterday to describe them. You wouldn't even call them slave catchers, you know. They ain't have enough skill to sit down there and allow a man to so then them fall in the same bracket, you know. Then they fall in the same bracket and never reach no way. So the only of them could reach some ways if they change the government. If we change and we put a UNC, black people will start to save some money. But I'm a dog, I'm a working dog, and I'm a hard working dog. I don't sit down and ask nobody for nothing. Right? Enjoy your day.
Again, if what is being said is true, this is my take on it, right? Again, I don't know what to say. It's not every one of us are like that. When you go through communities like Pleasantville, where it's predominantly African people, and you watch the houses that are built in my community, those houses are not built from people who like to spend money and who like to save. I don't want to change the discussion because, as I said before, I want the evidence. Right? I'm not changing the discussion. I'm not having that discussion. As I just said, I am just surprised, and I'm not going down that road. But I know for sure that the majority of persons of African descent, I don't know. Anyway, let me go back to why I want to talk about it, because if I talk about that, I might get myself in trouble because I don't have the evidence. So I'll just be going on again what the caller would have said. So I want to show you a video. I want you to listen to this video, and then I'm coming back. I want you to look at this video, Listen to this.
The United States reimposed sanctions on Venezuela's oil and gas sector last week Thursday, citing that President Nicolas Maduro has failed to commit to holding free and fair elections. Owing to this recent development, opposition MP David Lee says there are conflicting reports coming from members of the government of Trinidad and Tobago as to how the development of the Dragon gas deal will be impacted by Venezuela's political landscape.
On Thursday, Minister Young was in the newspapers saying sanctions on Venezuela will not affect Trinidad and Tobago. That was a statement put out by the Ministry of Energy and also confirmed by the Minister of Energy, Minister Young.
However, Lee says the sentiments expressed by Prime Minister Dr. Keith Rowley last week were not the same as Energy Minister Stuart Young.
When the Prime Minister spoke on Thursday, we were told an entirely different position. The Prime Minister told us, and I want to quote, "We are not immune to what goes on between Venezuela and the United States, because as we say that two is a moving target." This is his quote. "What we have done is to try and build relationships and promote our interests in a wider sphere than in Port of Spain, so that whatever happens or whatever is happening or is to happen with Washington and Caracas, we have resolutely kept our interests in front of all parties."
The MP says on Friday during the Prime Minister's question and answer segment in Parliament, the update given on the Dragon gas deal was worrying.
These operations usually have long lead time and gestation periods. For example, the procurement of survey vessels to survey the field, the planning of well work, engineering designs, costings and other necessary work for the project have been going on, and all the necessary activities are underway as precursors to any physical activity.
He also noted that the 30-year exploration and production license granted to Trinidad and Tobago by the government of Venezuela was not a guarantee that the deal was protected against U.S. sanctions.
If there are issues that develop in the 30 years that the Trinidad and Tobago government cannot, because of sanctions imposed, cannot go ahead with the deal of Dragon gas, they will give this country 6 months, and then they will consider terminating the 30-year license. It is there in this gazette that was gazetted on January 29, 2024, the official gazette of the Bolivarian Republic of Venezuela.
Sherlan Ramsubag, TV6 News.
Will they end games? Will they end games? Will they end games, Trinidad and Tobago? Will they not hearing games? Will they end games being played here? I don't know, you know. Are you all hearing games being played here? Yes or no? I would allow you all to answer if you are hearing games being played or not. Right? I'm going to take some calls. Hello, good afternoon. Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon again. The right, the embassy, America, to call sanction on we here. What do you expect from these people? They have no moral authority, my brother. It's pure hate. They men enacting normal. This is the country. All of we are to live here. Have no mother India, no mother in Africa. This is Trinidad and Tobago. And this is these people's performance. And they want to get back in government. Well, boys, they might bring here like Haiti. Hope not. You think they easy? They were never ever about this country. Never ever about Trinidad and Tobago. They're about self and family and friends and pure hate. Pastor, you have a good meeting.
Thank you very much.
I don't try and control myself because my vocabulary might slip, and I don't want that ever for this station. And after the two brothers who that come on later, why, sorry for all your boy. All you ever said, go to church and pray. I God.
Games, you know. Games. So this is what David Lee, Mr. David Lee, was referring to. Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Pastor Google.
Hi, good afternoon, Mr. Chance.
How are you, sir?
I am all right, you know. I listened to David Lee
yes.
Playing games with my question.
Yes.
It's my question
yes,
he's talking about.
That's why I called you, yes, that's why I called you. Because as I said that you ask a very relevant, in fact, two very relevant and pertinent questions to the people of Trinidad and Tobago, right? Mm-hmm. And I want to register again my appeal to you to continue to go out to these, particularly the post-cabinet press conferences, and that will give you the opportunity to grow, and I think you're on a good pathway. But the question I want to ask the people of Trinidad and Tobago, tell you a question. Now, do you know that Dragon gas contains 4.2 trillion cubic feet of gas? Do you know that if everything works like ducks in a row, this country will be able to explore and develop 4.2 trillion cubic feet of gas? Who do you think will benefit from that? Who do you think will benefit from the billions and trillions of dollars that will come to this country? That's the question. Is it that the UNC does not want the people of Trinidad and Tobago to benefit from the 4.2 trillion cubic feet of gas? The government got a 30-year contract. They have a company called McDermott already in line, and they're playing games with it. Well, let me tell the people of Trinidad and Tobago, that game is your game. Because you see, that development is going to take place in a significant way from 2026 to 2030 after the general election. So you will have a decision to make whether you want, I don't know, many of you may have missed the description that the Honorable Prime Minister gave the UNC in his last press conference, you know. Well, let me spell the word for you. GHOULD. I invite all of you to go onto your phones, go onto your computers, and type in the word GHOULD, and it's what it means. Let me tell you, it means evil spirit. You understand? Check it out. The Prime Minister said they are ghouls. And that is how we have to see it. Because where you have a situation where, because we, Trinidad and Tobago, has all the capacity to process natural gas. In fact, 2 days ago, the Hungarian foreign minister said, and I want to quote what he said, that Trinidad and Tobago will play a key role in channeling natural gas exports from Central and South America to Europe. Who could benefit from that, my people? If we sell, there are 27 countries in Europe, you know, called the European Union. If we get the opportunity to sell gas, natural gas, to those 27 countries, who will benefit? But let me tell you as I close, it's all your children. That is what keeps the children going to school. That is what paying the billions of dollars in health bill. That is what keeps the public servants being paid $1.9 billion a month. That is how the money comes to do it. So is the UNC the same principle? Party before country. Party before country in another situation. I want to close by asking this again. I think the Prime Minister is very correct. I too want to join the Prime Minister in this particular situation and describe the UNC as ghouls. I ask you to go on GHOULDS. Thank you very kindly, Pastor.
Mr. Chance, before you go, right, I wanted to just, Mr. Chance has gone. I wanted to have a conversation with Mr. Chance, a little chat with Mr. Chance. You know why I wanted to have a chat with him? I wanted to chat to Mr. Chance a little bit. Why? Why I wanted to talk to Mr. Chance is because I don't think people understand, and I want to pull back that video, you know. I need to bring back that video with Mr. David Lee. What's the video I'm talking about? In In the budget debate, Mr. David Lee made a statement one time in the budget debate just recently. He said, why we must make things easy for you. He said this government always coming and complaining that we did not negotiate with the oil and gas people in Trinidad, the outsiders. He said this government always coming and complaining that we did not negotiate. He said, why should we negotiate to make things easier for who? You? And I asked the question, who is the you Mr. David Lee talking to? Is he talking to the government or is he talking to the people of Trinidad and Tobago? But if he's talking to the government, by extension, he's talking to us. By extension, he was talking to you, Trinidad and Tobago, when he asked why this government always coming to complain about how we didn't negotiate for a better price and a better this and so to make things easier for who? No. When the conversation I wanted to have with Mr. Chance was that Mr. David Lee is saying in his discourse a while ago, he said something. He said this Prime Minister talking about building relationships. Building relationship. Is it that we should not build relationship with the with whoever is in White House to ensure, as Mr. Chance just talked about, our future in oil and gas? And understanding where Mr. David Lee is going, and Dr. Rowley would have clearly outlined in the question that I asked him that Mr. David Lee is piggybacking on. Dr. Rowley would have taken 3 minutes to explain and at length. Hello, good afternoon.
Yeah?
Hi, good afternoon.
Hey, Pastor Gogo.
Hi, good afternoon.
Good day. Pastor Gogo, very good show. But you know, in that conversation David Lee had, and Monilal come and ask about the spending and the scandalous of the 10 million, right? You know, it's David Lee who is the one who was pushing that question. What investment or interest Dr. Wally brought back to Trinidad and Tobago with those meetings of those oil giants? Well, Mr. Lee and Monilal, you see those meetings that Dr. Wally had with BP and Shell and them all over the world he went was for the interest of us. We, the people who are asking the question, is our interest is seek out there and bring back some revenue into Trinidad and Tobago to keep the economy flowing. And you see, Pastor Google, you see that dragon grass? It's politics, as you say, you know. It's a game they're trying to play with the people and flip it, right? Because that sanction have nothing to deal with us, right? If you read in the articles, we could go ahead and even the United States, if you remember, Pastor Google, ask us how we're going to pay Venezuela. We got to find a way that if that deal, we get
well, they did. After that, they did come up with a. They did give us thing that we could pay them.
Pastor Google. So it didn't have no problem with us. They're trying to fool the population to put a fear in them.
But it started from the Monday night. It started from the Monday night when Ms. Bissessa would have said about the oil and gas deal. How is it going to affect and what and what? No, she said it is going to affect us. That is why I asked the question.
That question you asked throw the whole show off because the rest of media come there to talk about babies. We know it's a problem. Dying, babies dying. But that question, real total question, Pastor Google. You keep up your good job.
Thank you very much. Alan, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Pastor Google. Mr. Pinal here.
Hi, Mr. Pinal.
Yeah, I'm listening. From time to time, I get the opportunity. I'm listening.
Yes.
I came in just after while you were talking about what Jenny had said, but I had missed that. Now, the way I look at this situation here with Venezuela and Trinidad is that this is really in American hands. And that's why every time the American government says something, everybody jumps up to interpret it. Because it's really in their hands. Trinidad and Venezuela have no issue here. They agree to sell us and we agree to buy. The Americans have given us a window. But from time to time, the American government will say something regarding sanctions and whatnot, and then we scramble to see how that is going to affect us. And, you know, we may get it right. And the thing is, they may change their position again. So after we have worked out what this means, if it means any change or no change, some American president, and it could be Mr. Trump next, we don't know, will say something again and have us in a scramble again. No, I don't like to live like that.
Well, just now, Mr. Pinal. Now, did you hear the Prime Minister's response to the question I was asked to him about the oil and gas deal?
Yeah, he seems to think that everything is just going along smoothly.
He never said that. He never said that. The Prime Minister never made it sound like if everything...
Remember. Of course, I don't have his words.
Well, all right.
But that's what I interpreted it to be.
All right. So I want you to listen. I'm going to play what the Prime Minister had to say. And I want you see what you just said about him thinking that everything is going to be going along smoothly? I want you to listen what the Prime Minister had to say.
Okay, right? I hope I get some clarification.
All right, sir. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right. You see me, boy? Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Pastor Google.
Yes, I'm Christine.
Peace and blessings. Now, listening into your program here, Pastor Google, but the problem is, Pastor Google, leader of this country tell me, Pastor Google, they is not supporting anything that the government bring to the Parliament of Trinidad and Tobago, Pastor Google. Yeah. And if opposition, which supposed to have some interest in this country, telling the government that they're not supporting anything that they bring to the Parliament on behalf of the citizens of Trinidad and Tobago, how they expect this country to function, Pastor Google. And my problem is that it have citizens in this country voting for this kind of chaotic kind of thinking, Pastor Google. It have people in this country voting for this chaotic kind of thinking in this country. So where they believe that if this country go down, that is some going down and some standing up, Pastor Google, when certain citizens of this country will understand that the benefit of this country is for all citizens of Trinidad and Tobago, Pastor Google. Pastor Google, I know you have you know a song called Bad-Minded People, Wicked-Minded People, and these are the people that we have in the opposition of Trinidad and Tobago, and some citizens who support this kind of stupid and foolish way of thinking in Trinidad and Tobago, Pastor Google. Pastor Google, thanks for your time. Have a peaceful day, a blessed day, and be safe on your way home from me, please. Thank you. Thanks for the time.
All right, thank you very much. So I want to play this clip. Come on, live. Let's play. I want to play something. I need to play this before I leave from here because let's listen to something there and just throw me off. All right, listen to this Trinidad and Tobago. There's something wrong with we, you know. They feel it's a joke. Something is definitely wrong with us.
You think that doesn't frustrate the government too?
Prime Minister doesn't Harry.
Let's say back there.
Good afternoon, Prime Minister. Kevin Ellie from 91.9. There's news about the U.S. resuming sanctions on Venezuela, where the oil and gas is concerned. And there are persons going around saying that we are going to be affected by it. Could you tell the nation or clarify to the nation how this will not affect us, or will it affect us?
We are not immune to what goes on between Venezuela and United States. Because even as we say, that too is a moving target. What we have done is to try and build relationships and promote our interests in a wider sphere than in Port of Spain. so that whatever happens or whatever is happening or is to happen with Washington and Caracas, we have resolutely kept our interests in front of all parties. And that's as much as I want to say now. If the United States does things to Venezuela or about Venezuela, we can't guarantee that some of those things will not be detrimental to us, as in fact it has already been. But we have some things in place which are not now directly affected by that. But that doesn't mean that it wouldn't be affected sometime in the future as the goalposts keep changing. We have some, I mean, the whole idea of getting Venezuela to agree to export gas to Trinidad and Tobago, that is a positive. If it doesn't happen this year, and it happens 10 years from tomorrow, then that is a good thing. It's because you go from zero to wherever that is. We would love for it to happen sooner. The whole idea of us having, out of that agreement, a 30-year arrangement, that is positive. When it's going to start, there are some difficulties there, but it might be influenced by the outcome of the U.S. elections because they're all intertwined. The politics of Florida, the politics of New York. In fact, one of the few people on one particular side who were not supportive of what we were doing in Washington. One of our friends, as a matter of fact, friendly with us, but not supportive of this particular issue. He's out of office now. Yeah. I mean, so things happen. We don't know how it will work out or what could happen, because this person was a chairman of a committee and was very important in the whole scheme of discussions. And then out of the blue comes a court matter, which has changed that. And of course, what we did in all the contacts that we've been making is to place value on the building of relationships. And it is that approach that has worked for us. We are not unknown in many quarters where decisions are made and where those decisions are important to our interests. So we've worked hard on that, and I think we're in a better position now than we were 10 years ago or 5 years ago.
I don't have anything to say. I just go back to the phone lines. Hello, good afternoon.
Afternoon, Pastor Google.
Hi, good afternoon.
You know, these people playing a game with this drug and field thing like if we get sanctioned, the government doing something bad. What the government doing bad? And they tell you, oh, that will put Trinidad in a kind of thing. Let me tell you something. The opposite of that. If we don't get that gas, what could be our destination? You can't pay public servants. You can't pay salaries. You know, we are gas-based economy here, Pastor Google. All them plants that are making methanol and ammonia and all these things, them 10 petrochemical plants in Point Lisas, they need gas to operate. Remember we selling these petrochemical products, and them, remember that is not a 5-year thing. That is 30 years of supplying product. When you can't supply the market now, what will happen to you, right? We is a gas-based economy. We need gas for these plants to run. When the steel plant come up on stream next year, that steel plant need gas, right? If we don't have that, what is our future? With a gas-based economy. So they're moving like if we lost the Dragon Field and we think that is something good. That is nothing good for Trinidad and Tobago. And what Dr. Rowland doing is to secure the future of Trinidad and Tobago.
All right.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. I'll call. Let's calling. All right. Hello, good afternoon.
Yeah, good afternoon, Pastor Google.
Hi,
Pastor Google. Very intelligent. And when I saw you in the press, I was in the press briefing, I was like, what? My boy elevate. But it was a very intelligent question. And I don't know well logic. and reason has gone with UNC, but I'm not surprised. They were the same people who made deals with some of the oil companies just before elections, that Dr. Rowley and Scott Young had to go into England, go across the world, and renegotiate those deals in order to get back money for us. Not so Pastor
Yes,
Google?
yes.
So they made deals with present entities that does not have any sanction, but the deals they made was not to the benefit of Trinidad and Tobago. Am I making sense there? And that is what we know.
Yeah.
Since the elections of 2015 to now, Dr. Rowley and Scott Young went back into these mega companies that has contracts with Trinidad and Tobago, and they have renegotiated to the sum of billions of dollars. I think Dr. Rowley said it sometime. I don't know if you could get a clip that people would be aware of that. So when you ask that question, and Dr. Rowley says, the situation between America and Venezuela has always been a volatile one, has always been a troubling one. But based on the present situation, they were allowed to make this arrangement. And so coming out of it, they have a 30-year lease. It's being worked on. Everything is coming together. And then he then says, which is logical for anybody in business, we are not aware of how it will turn out given the elections in America, given different circumstances and situations. We have made the deal with what in mind, with the best interest in mind. We have made the deal understanding that it's the best thing that could happen once it comes to fruition. Not so fast,
Yep.
So we have done it for the benefit of Trinidad and Tobago. Dr. Rowley has not made these deals for himself, And it behooves me that we continue to have an opposition that people, not me, but people are saying is the alternative to this government, but they have nothing to offer. And they cannot see. They're supposed to be the rising sun, but they can't see the sunlight or the light in nothing when it comes to the country. They're symbol is the rising sun, but they can't see the light in anything. When it comes to negotiating for the country, when it comes to the betterment of the country, I am saying, Pastor Google, good question that you asked. I like Mr. Chant, I hope you will go back and present some good questions and help some of these so-called reporters we have that just like the bacchanal. And let's remember, these things are for the betterment of the country. Dr. Rowley can't forecast that in 2 years' time, a prime minister could change, or this could change in America, and this could happen because of the geopolitical situation. He can't forecast that. But he knows that if this thing comes to pass, Trinidad and Tobago stands to benefit for the posterity of these people and their future generation. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. All right. That's what we're talking about. That's constructive conversation. Hello, good afternoon.
Yeah, afternoon, Pastor Google.
Hi, good afternoon.
Pastor Google, I don't want to show off your program, but here what's going on. Down here in Cedras, boy, the water coming brown like oil, it coming brown like gas, and then it coming brown like coffee. And we in Cedras used to get the best water in the whole of Trinidad. I don't know what's going on now. I like the Minister Gonzalez to come down in Cedras and see what's going on. The other day, I see some people patching a leak. I say, hey, how are you patching that leak? You know what the man tell me? He said, Ras, don't study it now, man, we go get. I said, what's and fix the leak? How are you patching it? The man said, Ras, don't study it, we go get more work. You understand what's going on? So I would like Minister Gonzalez to come down in Cedras and find out what's going on with the water situation down here.
All right, I'll pass the information on to him. Hello, good afternoon.
Hi, good afternoon, Pastor Guru.
Hi, good afternoon. Yeah, I'm hearing you loud and clear.
I would have called before and I would have asked a question. And you were correct to tell me that if I don't have the information, basically you're telling me that I should not, and I appreciate that. So with that being said, I hope you all can hear this. Please, it's just about a minute of that interview. Tell me if you're hearing it, please.
is that it starts from bad planning of 62 all the way to 2024. Even up to now, we have to say that the only era that we had any plan that seemed to have worked was under the pandemic time and to some extent under the capital transition time. So you know what you're saying there, Mr. Summer? Of course I should. I do have a new information right now. This country has some kind of economic plan. Is under the tool regime of the UNC. Wow. You have to understand that cultural antecedents plays an important role. So for the ones that explaining, Indo-background culture is about flavor and not strength. Afro-background culture is about strength and strength. Wow. So when Afro-Trinidadians or Trinidadians get into the office, they spend a lot of money. When Indo-Trinidadians get into the office, they spend, but they also save. Correct. It's so it's in their culture to say. It's in their DNA. Alright, so you can't take that out. You can't take what's looking like. Wow. Alright.
So, Pastor Google, I hope you would have heard. You would have heard Mr. Amar said that saving is in the DNA of people of Indian descent. But spending is what African people do. And I want to tell you all what DNA is. It is the genetic information inside a cell of the body that helps it make people who they are. So if Mr. Amar is saying that Indian people are more superior to people of African descent, because he speaks about DNA, it's in their DNA. And I think it is very disrespectful, prejudicial, and discriminatory, in especially the last year of African descent, that a man of Indian descent were to tell us on a national radio with two African fellows laughing and wowing, where he is saying in the DNA of Indian people, they are to save, but African people is just to spend. And if nobody else finds something is totally wrong with that, then something really wrong with African people and all peoples in this country called Trinidad and Tobago. Every creed on this time and equal.
But putting that aside too, and I totally agree with what you said, and listen to this. Adding to what you just said, I want to say to you that what he said or what he put out there is a lie. Because wait, not in the context of this government. From what I have, and I am going to try and get the information. This government has saved the most in the Heritage and Stabilization Fund.
Yeah, that didn't pass me, when you talk about the economic growth alone happen under the UNC, which is a total lie.
And when people talk, when he said that how did I spend, how it is, this is so contradictory because people in this country that say that they're suffering and they're not getting nothing from the government.
So I'm glad that
you picked up. So who they spending on? What they spending on?
Again, I am happy you picked up on that. I hope other people picked up on other things. But my main area.
Wow. Yeah. Is the DNA. Yeah. Yep.
Really so an apology from Mr. Robert Amar, because I want to say this quickly. He opened a door,
Yeah.
He could open a door and say, is it in the DNA?
Well, wait. But at the end of the day, at the end of the day, it shows that when they think that people are not listening, people are listening, and they are going to pick up on things that they think will go over people's head. They think certain things that they and a statement was made on this radio station. I'm going to find it back. A video was played, and I'm going to find it back, and I'm going to play it. People think that we are fools. They really believe so. Thanks very much, Sister Jenny.
No problem. Thank you.
People think that we are fools. Let me tell you why people think that we are fools. I'm going to show you. And you see this person who sent this to me, I want to tell you from the bottom of my heart. Thanks very much. I want to show you all something. Watch this. EU comes out in support of Dragon deal, Dragon gas. The EU. So while our opposition making a bacchanal with the Dragon deal, The EU, in face of the U.S. replacing sanctions on Venezuela energy sector. This week, yesterday, the European, the EU remains steadfast in its support for the dragon pipe between Trinidad and Venezuela. And our opposition making a real problem. Hello, good afternoon.
Hello, good afternoon, Pastor Google. How are you?
I am okay, sir.
Okay. Pastor Google, I see it on a different level. Here the level I see it on. Every day, the Lord made, you all showing up the UNC. What they want is civil unrest, Pastor Google.
But don't say that now, because remember when you say that, wait, just now.
Yeah.
When you say that, and somebody cut out that, and say, here what the pastor have a man saying that they want civil unrest, and then they go to that, and then that send a letter saying from the hours of 1...
Okay, let me clear it up. This is not the views are 91.9.
Still, it shouldn't be the views. Nah, you can't, they don't know who you are anonymous.
Okay.
So even if you come on the radio and say it's not we view, but it's your view, if they want to get in contact with you, how they get in contact with you? To deal with we.
Okay, sorry for that.
Yeah.
But they don't want nothing good in the country. Pastor Google, plenty people have money where they could jump and go away. They want something to happen. They want to hear more deaths. I remember a time in the parliament when somebody asked Mr. Hines how much cameras working. And let me say, he said 10. He said, can you tell me what party 10 is? Who right-thinking minister will ask our next minister to say which camera working or not working? Understand it. Them don't want nothing good because they know all who have money where they can't say how they get it. They have to answer. Them in Trinidad to study, they have a set of money where they can't answer, and the government have the other people outside investigating it. So right now, all them studying is themselves. Them not studying no Trinidad. They ain't doing that. Reach you. Yeah, listen to what they're saying and what they're not saying. They want something to happen, so the name ain't go call.
Right.
No investigation ain't go on. Have a blessed evening. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Hello, good afternoon.
Yes, Pastor Google. I understand you wanted to chat with me, but I want to say again, I think it's a very, you always come with these very instructive topics so the people will learn certain things. You have to understand, and 2-3 callers before made the point, and I'm going to say it again so you'll understand. When you hear, I'm talking to Granny, Mommy, all the people who work in taxi driver, public servant, police, wherever you are, when you hear that Trinidad and Tobago has a gas-based economy, you know what I mean? That we get most of our money to run our country through the sale of natural gas and petrochemicals. And when we say to run the country, I told you, the Minister of Finance says it costs us $4.5 billion every month. That's where our money coming from. Is when we sell those things. And that is why, if we are not able to sell that, as this caller said just now, we have to go and borrow money to run the country. The fellow who sends us the money, his name is IMF. So there are consequences if you cannot pay your bills. You know, if you take out something in court or something, you can't pay a bill, they come and repossess it, right?
Yes.
Okay? And the same thing happens to a country. When a country cannot pay its bills, so that what we have to sell is oil and gas, but we can't sell it. All kinds of things happening and we can't sell it. So we cannot pay our bills. And then is when we have to go and knock on the door of the gentleman named Mr. IMF and hear what he tells us. These are the consequences that countries that go to the IMF have to face.
So hear what Mr. Chant. No, just now. The time has gone on me. I don't want it to cut you off. So we're going to continue this conversation on Wednesday. Please go on.
Yeah, thank you very much.
You're most welcome. All right, to Trent and Bigo, here's where I have to leave it. Here's where I have to say thank you very much. And the information that I shared with you about the EU on Wednesday, I'm going to show you on Al Jazeera News what the EU has to say about Trinidad and Tobago and how much they encourage and they endorse the oil and gas deal. I'm showing you that Wednesday, please God. I'm out of here.
The views expressed are not necessarily the views of the management of the Street 919 FM.
You've got bills to pay, and so do we. Let's go pay some bills on the Street 919 FM.
Yo, this is the Big Mike, not the mass man, the health man. And joining me
will be Little Mike as we discuss tips on taking you from zero health to optimum health using different protocols and techniques. Trinidad and Tobago. Join us every Wednesday from 10:05 a.m. to 10:35 a.m. on the Street 91.9 FM for
Health Talk with Big Mike. It's not where it is, it's here it is. Boom!
Are you just tired of bad news in your communities, TV screens, and newspapers? Well, I have good news for you. Introducing Positive Corner with Naka every Tuesday from 12:30 p.m. to 1 p.m. Highlighting young, vibrant, and future stars spreading our nation's banner across the world. Telling their story about their journey to success and overcoming the negativities that plagues our land. Come, let's sit, discuss, have a few laughs, but at the same time learn something new. Every Tuesday, 12:30 p.m. to 1 p.m. Positive Corner, where challenges are opportunities for growth.
Jazz and wine, or is it beyond jazz and wine? Sunday, May 5th, 4 p.m. Center stage, the queen amongst the kings, powerhouse vocalist Mauricia Kagan, saxophone specialist Malcolm Boyce, versatile and captivating Sigu Rankin, pianist extraordinaire Dane Galston with his band live Sweetbread, and the chosen one, Ja Melody, will get you off your seats. This event is definitely beyond jazz and wine. Experience this musical journey at the enchanting outdoor garden theater at Queen's Hall. Transform into an oasis fit for kings and queens. Sunday, May 5th, 4 p.m. Limited early bird tickets available at Java Nation, Queens Park East, and online at islandetickets.com or call 737-2